So pretty much for the first time ever, Putin had to apologize for his quote-unquote special operation in Ukraine. So what happened was there's this conference called the Shanghai Cooperation Organization that was being held in Asia, and the attendees included Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi and the Chinese President Xi Jinping. Now, both these individuals, they're not too pleased with Russia right now. I mean, a big part of that is that the Ukraine operation, it's screwing up the whole global economy. I mean, you can get it through the supply chain dysfunction. There's countries starving in the third world, what have you. So the price of food skyrocketed. Just things aren't going very well, and this is hurting their economies and causing them to lose money. Now, sure, they are enjoying that due to Russia being so isolated in the global stage and all the sanctions that both India and China can buy discounted oil, but they aren't happy for a lot of other reasons. So leading up to this meeting, Putin's been pretty flippant, and whenever he talks about the special operation, he's always like, hey, things are great, things are amazing. In fact, he just had an event last week in Vladivostok where he was talking about how great things couldn't be better. But it seems like things are unraveling. So this week, Russian forces, they lost a lot of ground, particularly around the major Ukrainian city of Kharkiv, enough so that even a Chechen leader, Kadyrov, who is a Chechen warlord who is very pro-war, pro-Russia, he just criticized and chastised Putin and saying that the war so far is turning into a disgrace without any repercussions as of yet. So that's a big deal. But yeah, going back to the meeting, Xi Jinping and Narendra Modi both made it be known directly to Putin's face that they're not thrilled with this war. So Putin had to essentially beg on his hands and knees for forgiveness. He didn't exactly say forgive me, but he did in his own way come out and say that he realizes multiple times that there are concerns regarding the special operation, which may as well be begging for forgiveness, because Putin never says he's sorry or acknowledges failures, at least within the realm of the Ukraine war up until now. And this is the big deal, particularly as the tide, Russia thought that they would gain more influence going into this war. And in fact, they're losing influence, and they're becoming more and more dependent on both India and particularly China. Now, both these countries need, Russia needs both these countries more than both China and India need Russia. So he's becoming increasingly dependent as he has alienated former energy customers such as Europe, who would buy their oil and liquid natural gas. Now the few customers they have left are pretty much China and India, and they're dependent upon them for revenue. So he has to go kiss their butt, essentially. And this is not how Putin thought things would be probably at the beginning of the Ukraine war, making it all more interesting. Now, some other developments to show that he definitely is losing influence. So other attendees at the SCO, for example, Azerbaijan, they allegedly, we don't know for sure who started it, but it is seeming likely that Azerbaijan began a conflict with neighboring Armenia. Again, they've had ongoing conflicts forever, but they restarted it, assuming that Russia would intervene, which they haven't, even though this is despite Russia having a security agreement with Armenia. So the fact that Russia then jumped to help them out militarily also alienated Russia from Armenia. Additionally, the Kyrgyz president made Putin wait about half an hour before they would meet up for a press conference, which historically that it was like a slap in the face, and the Kyrgyzstan, which is dependent upon Russia for many things, would never do that. Additionally, Uzbek President Shavkat Mirziyoyev, who hosted the SCO conference in his country, he didn't even bother showing up when Putin landed his plane at the airport, but he definitely showed up for Xi Jinping's plane at the Samarkand airport. So it just shows that the power in Central Asia, which has been in Russia's influence since the 1700s, is shifting away from Moscow to Beijing. So things are definitely going to be interesting, as this is just only going to increase China's power on the global stage, which has all sorts of ramifications for economy, military, what have you. But I definitely want to hear not only your opinions on Putin's waning influence, but also on my content, as I'm always looking to improve.